to pick up where I left off on our last video. And that is with my next disgusting, socially subversive application for your telephone. And this one, I'm pretty proud of this one. And I actually, of all of them, I think this would be the most useful for me because I don't care about dick pics and I don't care about being a hoe and I don't care about a couple of these other things on here. But this one I made for me. And I think there's enough people out there. This could be very interesting and this could be very popular. And this one might be the one that would most likely be made into a real app. So it all depend on the underlying technology, of course, because this is just the idea. Somebody would have to develop all the tech, and the tech is very complicated. However, you got to start somewhere, right? So basically what I've got is, this is the idea, and it's a little hard to explain at first, but I'll go through it, of course. That's what I'm here for. So it's a social simulator. And I originally, developed it as a dating simulator, but it can be used for any kind of social interaction. I just, again, like Pokaho on my previous video, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch that one first. What are you doing here? This is a part 2. Why would you start with a part 2? Go look at part 1, please. I even call them the same episode number, I think, which is going to be confusing to me. Maybe I shouldn't do that. God, I don't know. All right. Anyway. Go watch part 1 first, please. And this part 2 is completely unrelated, but I don't want to have to explain myself again as to the nature of what these things are. All right, so this social simulator works like this. You create an avatar, and I don't necessarily, I would love if this app could be almost entirely data-based. Not so much a database. I mean, there would be a database, but it would be based on information, not on superficial things like height, weight, color, creed, whatever. Basically, the idea is the avatar would not be pictures of you. It would be who you are on the inside. And the whole idea behind that is the database. Well, the app would ask you questions, and these would all be questions that don't have a correct answer. It's just however you answer is going to basically craft over time who you are, who you really are. And I would like the database to be smart enough to identify liars so that, maybe you like liars. I mean, some people love liars. They don't want to admit it. But this would be a place for people to actually reveal their true selves. Some of us don't get to meet people that are worthy of revealing our true selves to. I think that I've lived my life. This is the truest I've ever been with anyone ever is on these videos here. So this is a whole new experience for me. And I think having a computer program to reveal yourself to, I do see the kind of the irony in that. But the idea is there's another person on the other side somewhere who's going to appreciate it. Here's how it works. So the app asks you questions, you answer the questions. Over time, the app, using some kind of AI that I've not developed yet, that someone would need to develop, it asks you more and more probing questions. And the whole idea is you can be yourself. You can be open and free because the avatar you're creating does not have any pictures of you, does not have any of your physical characteristics, doesn't know where you work, doesn't care. Doesn't care about all these superficial things. It only cares about who you are at your core. And it's completely automated and randomized. You're going to create essentially a file which it doesn't track you. Obviously, that would be the first thing. Figuring out people's deepest, darkest secrets would be great if you could then use it against them. I mean, that's basically the biggest problem in the world today is all these people have these horrible secrets and they're being pushed around and they do the wrong thing because they have a horrible secret. You can see it everywhere. This app would use technology to shield you from that. It would be encrypted. The app itself there would need to be some kind of It'd have to be some kind of safeguards. I'll let the programmers worry about that. This is, like I said, this is just the idea. So assume it's safe, okay? However we make that work, the app is safe. You can reveal your deepest, darkest secrets to this app. The app develops who you are. And once you, and this is up to you, once you feel like the app has got a good, and you, from time to time, you can tell the app, what do you think about me? Who am I? You could use this for self-reflection. You might not even ever need to use this to interact with other people. You could simply use this technology to reflect on who you are and then go out in the real world and, adjust. But, so the next step, if you continue using the program, would be, okay, I've developed this person, this avatar, this electronic thing that is essentially the core of who you are, like almost like your digital soul, if you will, if you want to get religious about it. And then you can take this soul or whatever, this virtual you, and you can then put this virtual you out there, and then this virtual you can interact with other virtual people. Do you see where I'm going now? So the virtual version of you can then go out and interact with other people. You could use this to date, essentially. You could use this to be social and make friends. And because it's a machine and it's not limited by the time and space the same way we are, you could simulate dozens or hundreds or billions of dates or interactions with other people. And other people in the database who have also revealed who they are, eventually you could come up with a match. The database would match you with people that are compatible. And it's not just guessing the way dating apps or whatever do now. It's actually thinking. It's extrapolating based on all the data you've given it and all the data everybody else has given it. And then it runs through simulations where you go on a simulated date and you simulate reactions and you simulate, people being happy or sad. I mean, the one thing this doesn't take into account is actual physical chemistry. I get that. And I'm working on a newer idea that I'm not going to talk about yet, which is kind of like a chemistry app. I don't know. How the fuck does that work? I think you have to spit in your phone and then it analyzes the bacteria in your spit and whatever. I don't want to reveal too much. I have so much to do in this world to destroy it. I mean, to enlighten it. I may never get there. But anyway, so that's it. That's your social simulator. I hope you like it. And like I said, again, that's a working title. It would have a clever name, obviously. One thing I was calling it was Dating for Introverts. And introverts would definitely love this. All right. So my next one. These are taking a little longer than I expected. The next one, y'all aren't going to like this. No one likes this. But sometimes it has to be done. And I got this idea while I was watching an old movie, an old Hitchcock movie. I'm sure you'll know which one it is when I start talking about this. But basically, and I'm, again, working title, these ideas occur to me, like this, and then eventually they get like this. So the working title of this app is called Murder Swap. Now, that doesn't mean, again, I'm trying to be hyperbolic. I'm trying to make these sound exciting, like, ooh, wow, I want to download that Murder Swap app. Maybe that is a good name for it. Probably not. But the idea is you trade crimes with someone else so that neither one of you get caught. Again, the database where you sign up for, everything would have to be anonymized. Is that a word? I think it is. You would be anonymous. You would not, it would not have any kind of personal information. And, basically you put up what you want done and what you're willing to do. And then, so this is kind of an extension of Pokaho, only totally non-sexual and non-interactive. The idea being you never have to interact with the people on Murder Swap. Like, you don't want to. That just opens you both up to liability, right? So the whole idea is you've got this task that you don't that needs to be done, and you don't want to do it because you'll get caught, and you're willing to do something else for somebody else, as a swap. Like I said, strangers on a train. Of course, that's what it's based on. But for the 21st century, y'all, come on, we got to modernize everything, don't we? How many people saw that movie and were like, ooh, I'm just going to hang out on the train until I bump into someone that I can get to swap murders with? Well, now you don't have to. It's way more convenient. Isn't the future awesome? Okay, so moving along. I know that one's kind of gruesome, and I could explain more about it, but you could basically extrapolate yourself the kinds of things that you could do with a totally anonymous app where, and the whole idea is the app itself kind of holds you to task. Like if you don't complete the other side, then you are revealed to law enforcement or whatever. Like basically you have to complete both sides. You can't just get someone else to kill somebody for you and then you get away with not having to do anything. No, if that happens, then your anonymousness disappears. Again, I don't really, this is the one that I will never develop because nobody would, hell, this idea right here might get my video nuked. We'll see if anybody cares to watch. Remember, this is all comedy. This is all a joke. Ha 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 ha. All right, the next one is kind of sad. And this was an early app of mine, and I'm going to talk about it now, and it's going to seem like obvious, like, well, duh, don't they already do that? Well, I think I came up with this idea in like when apps were first a thing, like 2008, 2009. I came up with this idea, and sadly, it is probably already exists, or most of this idea already exists, and it's not going to seem original. What is original is that, I'll get to that. Okay, so again, working title. The name of this app is the Eye of Sauron. Now, what is the Eye of Sauron? I'll tell you. Well, if you're familiar with the Lord of the Rings books or movies or whatever, Sauron sees all. Sauron knows all. Sauron has all of the information that he needs to do whatever he wants. So the Eye of Sauron app is essentially, it's an app you put on your phone. And so people basically give their data away now. They sign up for things, they install apps, they give it permissions. That app will spy on you. It'll record your voice. It'll record video. And then it'll feed you back ads. Sometimes it'll feed you ads in other apps. And have you ever noticed any creepy shit? Like you're talking to your friend about going on a train ride or something, and then like the next day there's an ad for Amtrak or something like that. Yeah, well, again, this is a real thing. And when I came up with this idea, this wasn't a thing. It is now, obviously, and it's only going to get worse as we go forward. Well, allow me to make this idea much, 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 much worse. So, are you ready? Hang on. You voluntarily put this app on your phone, and you want it to listen to you. You want it to spy on you. Why? Because it's going to pay you. Yeah, micropayments. So, the app can detect other phones nearby, probably just by their Bluetooth beacon or I don't know. Again, this is for the tech guys. I'm just the idea guy. Based on the number of other devices near you, which, basically is the number of other people near you, you get a kickback in the form of micropayments. It wouldn't be very much, but it could be a lot. Basically, you insert advertising words and phrases into your everyday language, and this app picks up on them and pays you. So if you're just having a conversation with one person and you bring up a fast food joint, you might get, a penny or a tenth of a penny or whatever. But say you're at a party and you talk to 100 people during the night and you tell them about the new sorcerer book, child sorcerer book. I'm not going to name names. But yeah, you see where I'm going here? You know, say you're a celebrity or some kind of influencer or something. You know, it can. I mean, these days it can track your social media. It can track everything. It doesn't just have to be a voice. You know, you could slip an ad for dick pills into a speech that's being broadcast on TV, and the technology would notice it and it'd kick you back. Basically, what this would do is destroy culture as we know it, because all of a sudden, everybody everywhere would just be speaking advertising. Nobody would go anywhere. People would stop talking to each other. People would be stuck inside, stewing in their own filth for fear of hearing another ad for French fries. Anyway, sadly, I'm pretty sure this is so unoriginal. It's already being developed, been developed. It's just a slightly more evil version of what's already going on. So now I've done it. Now the idea's out there. Now, whether I develop this or not, somebody will. So get ready. Get ready. You're going to love it. So, oh boy, running out of time here. Let me wrap this up with my last invention, and I'll make this quick. It's called Blowjob Coin. Yes, Blowjob Coin. It is a cryptocurrency for blowjobs. Now, a blowjob doesn't have to actually be oral sex. It doesn't have to be performed on a penis. It can be any kind of oral sex, and it doesn't even have to be oral sex. In fact, it doesn't have to be sexual at all. It's just any kind of labor you don't want to do yourself. Can you suck your own dick? No. You need someone else to do it for you. Just like, hey, you're in a wheelchair, you can't clean your gutters. You need someone else to do it for you. So, very simply, Blowjob Coin, or blowies. Blowies for short. That way, you know, kids, right? You know, kids can hear about them. I mean, you have to be 18 to do this, obviously, just because of the name. And, you know, we can work on that. Again, this is for the marketing guys and girls and whatevers. They can develop this as they need to. But basically, any task that you don't want to do yourself or you can't do yourself, you hire someone else to do it, and you pay them in blowjob coins. Well, the labor itself is the cryptocurrency. You can't invent labor out of thin air, right? Now, this was one of the only good ideas of the National Socialist Party, was that their currency had been debased so much that they just threw it away and they replaced it with labor. They were like, okay, you want some money? Go and dig a ditch. And then come back and we'll give you whatever. We'll give you one of each of the currency for each hour you worked. I'm not exactly sure how it worked. But that basically turned their economy around and allowed them to almost destroy the entire world. That's how powerful of an idea this was. And it was probably the only good idea they ever had. And it's the one thing that kind of turns them away from socialism, even though they were the National Socialist Party, because this was based on labor, not on banks, not on metals, not on fiat. Labor cannot be faked. It cannot be whipped into existence out of nowhere. It has to be done. So your labor through this app is recorded and also rated. And based on the time you spent and the quality of your work, you are rewarded with blowjob coins. That's it. Simple. Well, I hope you like my ideas. I hope if you steal them, you'll kick me back. I don't want to have to sue anybody. I love y'all. I mean it. And until next time. Until next time.